Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spaces. We'll give it just 30 seconds more to allow more people in, and then we'll kick off with the countdown. All right, let's kick off. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spaces. I am blessed to have had the opportunity over the past year and more to attend spaces like these with a number of excellent and well-informed speakers. Over the past year, these have changed, but I'd like to think the ones that join me today, including Anon Morpho, including the well-known DNB, including some of our key advisors, and including, for the first time, some new voices from the engineering team, are some of the best. I'm very, very excited to present these voices to you today. We're collectively very excited to share what is our first Spaces as anyone. And to that end, I'd love to call Anon Morpho onto the stage for some opening words.
Hello, everyone. Always a pleasure to talk to the Atonauts, or as we're now called, the Anyone. We're super excited about the next year plus, the future of everything that we built here. I know that it might have been a slow migration for some, but I'm happy that this is finally over with. All the exchanges are now ported over. All the holders now have plenty of time to migrate. So we wanted to take this time to maybe have a little post-mortem on Ator and then talk about the future of anyone. Obviously, Ator will always live dearly in our hearts. It was a fantastic part of all of our lives, an incredible project with an incredible vision. It's unfortunate we ran into that roadblock with the Tor Foundation and the original vision of the project. And, you know, we were the #1 coin of all of 2023. But as we've seen in 2024, with our own network, with our own strong community, with our own vision, the ceiling is much higher. We're already almost at 3,000 relays now as anyone. And we know that we're going to surpass Tor's total relays very soon. Ator was an incredible project, and every single person that contributed to that project is forever going to be in our hearts. And most of us are still working on this project dearly. We might have lost some people who didn't like the new pivot, and the most important thing is how battle tested and hard in our community is. We dealt with this incredible FUD episode that forever will live in crypto as the most amazing comeback. And that's still going to always be on our mantle, a testament to every single one of you guys listening, every single holder, every single community member. The Atronauts is forever going to be known and associated with the strength of a community. With anyone, the new vision has changed into away from any sort of connotations, any sort of associations with other projects, and is our own vision for privacy for anyone, DPIN for anyone, and eventually even AI agents for anyone, making a network that anyone can contribute to, that is not limited to just crypto natives, Web3 natives. It's for the entire world. This privacy issue is not going away. We see it now more than ever. You can see the world events happening in the States, happening in Europe, all across the world, how our rights are being infringed upon, and that we need to, as a people, as a populace, take things back into our own hands, starting with our most important valuable asset, which is our data. And that is why we are so passionate about what we do here, and why every single person that has invested in this project understands the vision and what we're trying to build. It's obviously a huge, huge day for crypto with the Ethereum ETF going live. We're built on top of Ethereum because that's what we believe in with the gasless protocol with Arweave, which we'll get to demonstrate some of those benefits today. We know that crypto is taking a huge leap forward. It is now a mainstream investment, a mainstream vehicle. It's something that anyone wants to invest in. And with the BTC and ETH ETFs going live, it's only a matter of time until a privacy or DePIN ETF goes live as well. And we are at the forefront of both of these verticals, and I cannot wait to see how much we're going to be able to grow. So I'm going to kick it back to Neuradek, who's going to talk a little bit about the technicals, and we have many, many more exciting stuff to come.
Thank you very much. As always, our three main engineering teams, the protocol, network, and hardware teams, are building continuously in parallel. And with the move to Anyone, we are gearing up to make a number of big technical releases in relatively quick succession as we go on to move this protocol from a test environment to more about a live one. I'd like to speak briefly around the strategy around testnet. And to do that, I'd like to sort of mentally work backwards from our eventual goal, from our North Star. Because as you all know, from the releases we made from the pivot last November, the eventual goal for this network is for it to be truly autonomous, truly decentralized, and truly trustless, both in the privacy guarantee for users, clients, and softwares using the network, and of course, for the Web3 participants running a relay and taking part in its governance. And we hope to govern this network through a mixture of immutable smart contract logic across the EVM and Arweave, and decentralized consensus between a diverse number of participants, sort of managed by the Anyone token. And it's this decentralized system that will oversee the distribution of these base rewards, which will be completely autonomous. Getting there is a process with many stages, and needless to say, will require us to be 100% confident in the security of this protocol in handling the significant funds that make up these base rewards for relays. It's a long process, but we hope to begin incentivizing relay operators far sooner than hitting this North Star in a multi-stage release process that will become increasingly autonomous with each stage. So to that end, I would like to briefly introduce these stages for protocol incentives, 4 of them, in fact. The first phase, which we are currently in, is what we're sort of dubbing pre-testnet, which we are in currently and we'll be coming out of soon. Many of you listening have been running relays and playing around with the stage dashboard linked to our autonomous CI/CD pipelines on GitHub. And in doing so, it's given us an excellent foundational network that we've used to test our SDK, to test our authorities. You'll hear more from Kanchi and other engineers on some of the improvements we've made around load balancing in light of that, and given us the base we need to then move on over the next few weeks to the second part, which is an incentivized testnet. The incentivized testnet will take 2 stages, where in the first, you will be able to run a relay as before, set up your families, automatically register your hardware, and more. And in doing so, and participating in contributing your bandwidth and registering to the protocol, through various criteria, you'll be qualified for periodic airdrops. In this phase, we will also see the introduction of new reward criteria, moving past purely consensus weight and taking a more holistic view to incentivizing the actions and diversity that this network really needs. We'll begin to see rewards purely for uptime. We'll begin to see things like the hardware dedicated pool coming in. We'll see the introduction of new criteria like geolocation. And in doing so, hopefully mature the network and build it out globally in the way that anyone needs. As we move on from the second phase to the third phase, which is also an incentivized testnet, this process will become more autonomous. Rather than sort of going through this abstraction of periodic airdrops, you'll be able to claim rewards autonomously. And obviously, as part of this phase, security is paramount. And what we'll begin to see collectively as a community is not only the introduction of audits and auditing organizations to oversee both the centralized and decentralized components of this stage, but also involving you as a community in hackathons and bounties so that we can have the security we need to then go into that final stage, that final mainnet, where the process is truly autonomous The smart contracts are completely immutable, and those rewards are completely live. So the takeaway really is, while this is a long process, in keeping with such a big vision, the incentives for you as operators will come in sooner. With that said, the protocol is only one part of many of the releases we hope to make. I'll speak a little bit more about that afterwards, but I would like to actually hand over to the fantastic Dr. Andrei Tucholka, known fondly as Kanchi, to say a few words more generally about our process.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. I was thinking, coming into this AMA, I was thinking what to highlight really, because there's so many things happening that I mean, for me as an engineer, that can get me very, very excited. But before we, start naming all of those successes, I just wanted to note that we know that we're standing on and building on the shoulders of giants. So big respects to the original authors of plenty of the software that we're running, and here, of course, the Tor project, but also other open source communities that we're leveraging and running. We hope that we're going to add in a significant way to this movement, and of course, the big cheer up to all of the engineers that have been working to really reestablish the network that we now soon are gonna know as anyone. This is a very exciting moment, I think, for everybody here. But to give you guys a sense of what is really happening behind the scenes, as not everything is visible on GitHub, we actually have in total, I think, around 7 technical teams that are working independently of what is currently about 100 runtimes that are spread on about 20 globally distributed machines. We have our own private network that we run this, and we hope to decentralize eventually most of this infrastructure as we mature the network towards the mainnet. And to give you more of a sense, for the past 2 weeks, we've been making a series of very targeted updates, and these came alongside the rebrand, but it was essentially a full redeployment of the protocol contracts, all of those runtimes, and all of the technology that we're operating. We're now basically finalizing the collection of all the updates in the staging environment, and we're focusing on delivering the first milestone of the testnet that we're in right now. Right? So as you probably noticed, some of the updates are already live. Some are coming very soon. So we're in the middle, essentially, of this release process. We have new directory authorities. We have new bandwidth scanners. We have a total of 7 of each at the moment. We have tweaked a bunch of network params, and I hope you will all enjoy the improvements that come alongside those. And in general, like we had a very targeted effort at the network health, and really improving it once it started operating, and once we have those thousands of relays really joining it at the same time, really trying to balance it all out. It was a really fun experience. So alongside that came, as Narada mentioned, a lot of new parameters in the distribution contracts, in the relay registry, token locks, more utility for the main token, and then the testnet contracts are also rapidly evolving right now. And last but not least, in terms of like the deployment, it's fresh from today. We have the PermaWeb Gateway by RIO that we've been running before in the ClearNet, that is now operating also as a private service on the Anyone network. I'm not spilling the address yet, but maybe somebody finds it somehow, I don't know. We will of course be informing about it more in the upcoming days. And last but not least, we're expecting a revamped dashboard that will be connected to a Sepolia testnet Anyone token, right? Because the current dashboard is still on the Aether token. So we're gonna make that switch alongside with this, all of those quality of life improvements alongside those, so that people can properly appreciate what we've been building for the past weeks. And I guess what's next, not to drop from the bird's eye view, It's mainly decentralization and, as Narada was mentioning, security audits. And we want to start, supporting community and developers building services. And that's why we're preparing the SDK so that people can really start delivering value alongside us and what we're building. And in terms of decentralization, just to give you guys some better insight into that, we're planning to not only migrate the directory authorities and bandwidth scanners, but also decentralize the logic of the anyone protocol that we currently have in the validator. So we're gonna focus on decentralizing those mechanics, those processes, not just the network and how it operates, in terms of authorities and observing the network and reaching consensus of what is healthy, a healthy way of creating secure circuits. Alongside, ultimately we want to empower relay operators to also optionally become observers and act alongside us, actively contributing to the network's health and monitoring it and building services within it, on top of it, with it. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, happy to answer.
Thank you very, very much. It really has been a fun process to consider what it means to decentralize a network like this. As Kanchi alluded to, there are all these different facets on the protocol, to the network itself, to how the user interacts with it, how relays interact with authorities, how relays communicate with each other. There's a lot of thinking, and in the releases we make over the coming few weeks, you'll hopefully be able to see some of this thinking laid out in paper and laid out in a cohesive vision for what we hope this network to be. Another thing Kanchi did mention was the dashboard, which is what I'd like to segue to next. So our dashboard builders and some of the Forte team members couldn't make the call directly, but I have with them a short demo of what the dashboard experience will look like by and large as we gear up to enter that second phase of the testnet. So let's bring that up to screen now.
Here we can connect our wallet. You can choose various types of wallet. I will choose MetaMask for this demonstration. I will connect with the wallet that I want. Then you can see some important data such as the amount of anyone locked right here, as well as the amount of your current balance and some facilitator and distribution stuff. Don't take mind of this. This is just because the facilitator and distribution contract are not in sync while imitating the validator behavior. So we can go to relays here. This is pagination that was requested for phase 2. Another interesting thing is the test relay, so the nicknames that we have added, as well as the previous distribution, which will give you the total amount of the last distributions given by the validator. I think by default the max is 10, but correct me if I'm wrong. The register relays, such as Kanchi has previously stated, we have put it into the header. We can lock one right here. It should pop up MetaMask for me. Yep, token approved. Please accept the transaction to lock the relay. We have given some descriptive toast pop-ups right here. So if we confirm this, it will tell me that I'm currently locking the relay. This takes a bit because of the Ethereum blockchain. Yeah, so we have locked the relay, that we have locked 100 anyone, and we can click the claim button to claim the relay on Arweave, which we're gonna do now. Yep, so we successfully claimed this fingerprint on Arweave as well. Another thing that we have added is the report issue, which we already had in phase 2, I believe, phase 1, I believe. But if we type a string here, a predetermined string, such as delete code 123, we can paste logs, so logs of users, as well as the staff private key. And if we decrypt this, which will not work now, obviously, it will decrypt to your clipboards, so you can have the decrypted logs. So as you can see, if you go back into the video, we have logged 100 extra. Don't take mind of the previous 100. It's because I changed registry contract without changing registrator contract. My balance has dropped 100. Yeah, if we go back here to locked relays, We cannot unlock it yet because we have to wait a bit for the contract, because we have set the lock blocks to like 6. Let me refresh the page, see if it updated. Give it a second. Yeah. So we put unlock here. Proving token. Token approved. Please accept the transaction to lock the relay. We should make that unlock, by the way. Say typo. I'll do that real quick after this video. Unlocking relay. Okay, unlocked. Tokens unlocked. We've unlocked 100 anyone. Here we can renounce it as well from our weave. And then we renounced it and it's gone. Thank you for listening.
So there's a demo of the dashboard. I'm sure many of you have seen this feature, being as eagle-eyed as you have been checking out some of the stage and live dashboards currently under development. To confirm, as Kanchi mentioned, the testnet anyone token on Sepolia network will be redeployed, and so those balances will reset. You will have the chance to re-register your relay. An interesting update with regards to hardware is the hardware team have been diligently working for a good while now on a pretty big update that, among other things, will bring in the logic for your hardware relays to automatically register. One of the tokenomic features of the anyone router or hardware device is that it will not require this lock to register, and even in testnet, that will be reflected in how that process works. So in terms of an actual sort of more concrete order of releases, we are planning to have the hardware release come first to allow you to onboard yourself and prepare yourself for this testnet. But that's not all that we'll be seeing with this hardware release. A much awaited feature will be the ability to define your relay family by pasting in those fingerprints directly from the relay control panel. This is the dashboard hosted directly from the hardware that you access on your local network to make configurations, even remotely. And another, what I hope is probably the most interesting release with this hardware, I'll speak only in very brief terms about it, I'll let you play around with it when it comes out, is the first version of the device being used as a router. It's a proxy feature, and a number of apps that you use today, from Firefox to Spotify, will be able to interface with this proxy and route traffic through the device. It's not a complete router feature. It's not going to transform your entire network. But if you connect the device to Ethernet and connect to the locally hosted Wi-Fi network from the device, you will be able to proxy some of these applications. It was far further down our roadmap, but it will make a feature in the next hardware update. So hopefully something very exciting to look forward to. But before we really roll out these features directly for you to interact with, you look forward to some of the documentation that we've been working on for a while now under the Anyone brand, the new white paper, the docs, and crucially, new tokenomics as well. So a lot to come, a lot of vision to be shared. It doesn't end in this call, but nor does this call end here. I'd like to call back Anon Morpho to say a few more words.
Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm you guys with all the major catalysts. I hope you guys really enjoyed this dashboard demo. There's going to be some extra surprise coming for you guys as well on that note. And yeah, it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the ever-reaching catalyst of us earning rewards and contributing to the network. I also wanted to, stress the fact that, while you get to hear Anon speak and Neurotic speak and DNB speak, there are so many people working on this project. We have 25 part or full-time staff on this project. You get to hear some new voices from the engineers. We're always talking to these engineering teams, always looking out for new talent, always reading new applications. And even on that note, very, very soon, we're going to be starting our incubator. We're going to start the DAO, and there's going to be tokens given to the community to, empower you guys as well. To, if you want to build something, this is not just about us. We want anyone to be able to build on this network. That's the whole vision and idea behind this project, is that anyone can contribute. We've already seen the first live application go on our network with ZKML building the Zebra app. We hope that there's going to be plenty more from other projects, other communities, even people listening right now who want to build on top of that. And on that note, I'm super, super excited, super jazzed and pumped up to introduce our newest hire, Benjamin Earhart. If you don't know that name, you're going to meet him right now. He is a Tor contributor. He's a Guardian core contributor. He built the Tor iOS browser app. He built Orbot. He's an incredible engineer, and he's going to be building some super, super cool stuff for the Anon network and for the Anyone Foundation. And we are extremely, extremely proud to introduce him to the team. And he's going to say a few words about himself and introduce himself to the community now.
Oh, wow, that is an introduction. Now I'm blushing red. Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be on this project. It's feels like a continuation of what I did in the last 7 years, or even 8. My main focus is iOS, but I'm also by trade an Android programmer. In fact, I started out with that. I'm 45, so I'm actually, I started programming on an Atari ST. So I hope I can bring some experience to this project. And and I'm looking forward to what we get, what comes out of this. I'd like to create some building blocks so you can build your iOS and Android apps on top of this. So that's it from me for now. Like, if you want to hear more, then please ask me some questions. Otherwise, I'm going to mute myself again.
Thanks, Benjamin. DMB here. Firstly, welcome to anyone. I think we're really proud to have you on board the team. We have thousands of viewers listening in right now, and for me, that's such a pleasure to see. Privacy matters. Your privacy and my privacy matters. And for me, it's really exciting to see this explosion of interest again in privacy and securely storing and owning your own data. It's really good that anyone not only attracts Web3 natives, but also Web2 developers and builders, and soon to be Web2 users, because really we want this. So we want to build and scale, and more importantly, get mass adoption of this network. It needs to be built securely, it needs to be fast, and it needs to scale, because we don't want any bottlenecks. We don't want any inconvenience. This is going to be not just the largest onion network in the world. It is going to be one of the largest networks in the world. I'm really happy that many of the community today get to meet for the first time some of the builders, the engineers, and the advisors for anyone, because they truly are world class. And I always say, people beat strategy every day, but anyone has the best people, the best strategy, and more importantly, in my opinion, the best community. So I'm glad the migration is out of the way. All major exchanges have supported it. We are seeing lots of support on Twitter. We're seeing community members write really good articles, and I would like to encourage that. And I think the more that I have seen the team give airdrops and rewards to people who contribute, we work out how to manage that in a more decentralized and fair way. This is really exciting. So yeah, I mean, the building blocks are all here for a multi-billion-dollar project, but more importantly, in my opinion, a really secure, reliable, and fully open source network. Thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you very much. That was great. And Benjamin, really, I'm very, very excited to see what we can do here and what we can build. Particularly, two things. One, inspiring and giving the tools to the next set of developers who can build applications on top of the network, but also, taking on a more mainstream approach to actually having users in and growing this deep in to the mainstream level where it needs to be. And to that end, I'd like to call some voices onto the stage who know growth in deep ins better than pretty much anyone else. We'll have Nick and shortly after Max, some of our key advisors from Goldhawks, here to say a few words.
Super exciting. Thanks for having us on. It's really cool to hear all of the amazing news. I think some of the stuff that I'm seeing from the deep inside is, the first piece is as we enter what may be called the deep in decade. It's super cool to be along with everyone, but in specifically with anyone. This is such a cool project. The founders, the advisors, the community, everyone is so top notch. I know DNB is alluded to that, but man, everyone I've met, talked to, interacted with around the Anyone team is just absolute top of the line working. So, and I think that was demonstrated for me as a kind of non-technical user in the migration. I think I clicked, maybe 3 buttons and the thing was done. Super, super simple. I know there's a ton of stuff on the back end that happened that is beyond my ken, but really cool to see it work that well. And that's unusual, right? When you don't notice anything and a thing just works, that's a great sign. Let's see. So I'm psyched for the dashboard updates and the hardware. The prox feature is going to be super cool. The surprises that Anon mentioned are going to be rad coming down the pipe. And I think what I'm most excited for on the deep inside is to be able to start using this network on my next trip, my next time in the coffee shop, like whatever it is, as that comes up, and to maintain my privacy with a network that I'm helping to build and a part of with you guys. So I think that's all the stuff that I'm seeing right now. Just overall super pumped on this team and what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll have Max, his associate, as seen on the title.
Hey everyone. I just want to touch on tokenomics real quick. So when we were brought in, there's about 90% of the tokens were already out in the community circulating supply. So we were trying to make sure that we could create a tokenomic system that adheres to some of the core tenets of crypto, which is to never dilute and to always have whatever your max supply is, that remains your max supply. I'm happy to announce that, after months of work, we were able to come up with a system where we feel the network can grow to 100, maybe even 1,000 times the size of what Tors is right now, and do all of that with the existing tokens without needing to dilute. We could go through all the different numbers, but I don't know that this is the best place to go through it. But all that information, Erratic, has that been published yet? I believe it will be published, right?
It will be, and you're right. It's months of work and collaboration between what I'd like to think are some really top minds. I mean, Max's tokenomics resume in the relatively short time we've known the Deepin phrase is immense. Working on mobile, working on other tokens, having building an entire company around building these kind of incentives and networks, as well as Austin Cyberlake, who brings in a more analytical and modeling perspective that will hopefully be refreshing and to see in a new paper. But yes, it's yet to be released. It comes in the next sort of set of docs. And I think as a community, people are really going to like it.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to challenge the community is we're all a community here. No one here is better at tokenomics than anyone else. So I challenge everyone out there to, whenever this comes out, to challenge every piece of the tokenomics. Tell us what doesn't make sense. Tell us what we need to fix. Because as much as we think we did a great job with it, we have a million different fact checkers out there, so we want to hear from everyone.
Everyone and anyone. But indeed, thank you very much, Max, as well. Speaking of Deepin experience, I've just added a massive tranche of Deepin experience onto the stage. We have Daniel from Hotspotty here to also share with us on this space.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for inviting me to the space. It's always a pleasure to be anywhere in any place with you guys. Yeah, I mean, one thing that I'd like to say is how incredible the network growth has been and how flawless the whole experience has been, right? Like, I think we have like thousands of relay nodes. I think it's like around 3,000. I think the bandwidth it's around like 1.3 gigabytes per second or gigabits per second, which is amazing considering that we're just in a test net, right? Like there's not actually that much the demand right now, but I think soon these numbers are going to scale like super quickly. I'm super bullish on everything that's happening. I mean, it's super exciting to be part of the Anyone with everyone here. I would like to also let people know that we're going to be working together with the Anyone team to be adding more information on Deepin Hub as well. So I'd like to get you guys to go to deepinhub.io and check the Anyone project there, because we have the relay map around the world. And just in like early stages of this project in the testnet, we already have basically the relays deployed all across the globe. And that creates like a level of amazing like decentralization and security and privacy, right? I would like to, check the website, and I think we're going to be working together to add more and more status there, a lot of information, and it's nice to see more projects coming together and displaying data, displaying a lot of metrics, and also other Deepin projects joining in using the Anyone network, right? I just want to say thanks for everyone, and super excited to be here participating on this project, and we're just getting started.
Thank you very much, Daniel. For those of you who are unaware, as part of their work with Hotspotty, they control Deepin Hub. I would say the best source of information for Deepin projects across the space. We're going to work closely together to get some of these metrics, more than just the relay count, moving into something specific: exit nodes, entry nodes, bandwidth, distribution of bandwidth, uptime, geography. We hope to be completely transparent with that and sort of grow this sort of ecosystem of analytics that builders can use, clients can use as they begin to create circuits more selectively and sort of make the ecosystem healthier. And, I can't think of anyone better to work with than Daniel and the Hotspotty team. So thank you again for all of your help and for being on this space. It's been one of my favorite spaces. I think probably one of the most diverse and jam-packed in terms of names and voices, both old, some of these advisors who've joined us this year in 2024, and some new voices, including, I'd like to reiterate, the absolutely fantastic Benjamin Earhart, core builder on the Guardian project and building for us now as well. The new names you saw in the space and this growth is, I'd like to think, no coincidence. Really, anyone can contribute to this network. There is no overarching leader. There is no single person with a veto. What is anyone? It's a collection of all of us working together to take our privacy back, to make a Deepin network that anyone can join, that anyone can contribute to, build on, and use. You can be anyone. Thank you all very much for your time. It's been a wonderful space.